Hello, and welcome to the Well-Grounded Coffee podcast, turning trauma into triumph. I'm Sonya Sickle. If you follow this podcast on a regular basis, you know it's usually hosted by Dignity Project founder Natalie Huscheck. But today, Natalie is in the hot seat for us as our interviewee.
I love it.
And thank you for letting us turn the tables on you a little bit today.
Yes.
We appreciate that. Now, this podcast has a unique setting because it's broadcast from a coffee house called the Well-Grounded Coffee. But usually you guys are somewhere else,
Hiding
right?
in the meeting room.
Yes.
Yeah. So here we are in the main space. Welcome.
In this lovely space. But this is an important place because your employees, I understand, are women who are out of prison, out of addiction, or other types of trauma, and you give them hope, direction, and something toward a better life.
Right.
How did that come about? How old is the project?
Okay. That's a great question because this store, the main store, is a little over 5 years old.
Okay.
And the second store, not quite 2 years old. But actually, as I look back through my journaling, I would say its birth was about 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or maybe even longer. But, I had a season of my life, just challenging difficulties, trauma in my own life, and just experiencing anxiety, depression, just a very dark space. And at that moment, I felt that God was saying to me, I'm going to show you how to lift other women out of this kind of darkness. And in that moment, Sonya, honestly, I couldn't see a way out myself, much less, really have any confidence to think I could lift somebody else out. But through journaling and prayer and I would get one piece and another piece, and here we are.
Can you expand a little bit more on that? Where were you in your life that made you?
So in a previous marriage,
Okay.
so probably going back even further.
Okay.
I was married for 13 years, had 3 baby girls, adopted 4 boys out of the foster care system.
Wow.
Life was full.
Yes.
And we started a church. We planted a church.
Goodness.
He was lead pastor, and things just started spiraling. And I wasn't sure what was going on. There was some infidelity and some things going on. The whole church split. Like, it just felt like my whole life was just out of control. And here I had these 7 kids. So super challenging. The boys, through the course of it, before we completely split, grew up because they were older when we adopted them. And then I had these 3 little girls, which I moved from Indiana to Texas and tried to figure out how to be a single mom. And, this is my experience, but I'm guessing I'm not alone in that you kind of think when you're in a terrible, abusive marriage that when you get out of it, that you're going to experience great relief. And I did not. I mean, there was certainly some types of relief, but in another way, it was just overwhelming and dark and
there are even more problems that come about, aren't they?
For
Things that
sure,
you didn't
and working
count
multiple
on.
jobs and
Right.
trying to figure it all out, trying to be really available to my 3 little girls, and it was just really a dark place, and I couldn't see a way out. The funny thing is, I've always believed in God, and I've always had a hope there,
Right.
and some light, but it felt really, really dark. Like crying out to God, like, don't forget about me. I'm down here in this pit, and just journaled, prayed, and that's when I had that really strong sense. I'm going to show you how to lift others out of darkness. And I was like, will you please lift me out first? Help. But yeah, little by little. And then I met my amazing current husband. We've been married for almost 16 years. And we had a little boy together. And he's been an amazing father to my daughters and my adopted boys. So, just felt... and really, I would say doing this work has been my path out of darkness, just step by step, and just being able to we journey together here. It's not like I'm up here reaching down. We join arms, elbow to elbow, and we journey together, and we learn from each other. And I mean, I am just humbled by just the inspiration that each barista that becomes a part of the sisterhood is, and what they bring and what they teach me. And I pray that I teach them a little bit, and we do it together. Yeah.
Well, they say that too, don't they? That if you need help yourself, sometimes helping someone else
It 100%.
makes that happen.
We have 3 success factors around here. We talk about often. Humility is one of them. Accountability is one of them, because you know isolation will take you down. And a serving heart. You have to give. You have to be pouring out. If you're only taking in, you're not pouring out to the next person, and we say you'll get spiritual gangrene. So there's our word picture, like always be giving. You can't just take, can you? No matter who you are.
Right.
Not just women who've experienced trauma.
So why coffee? Why a coffee house? Where was the program first, or the coffee come first? Which was which?
Definitely the program was born first. It could have been anything, you know, but Michael and I are coffee snobs. And really coffee connects people and starts conversations, builds community. So we said, if we're going to do it, let's do coffee. And it's been a great decision. Yeah, we've had fun with it.
And your location and everything, and how did that come about?
Well, we live nearby.
Okay.
And this store actually was a coffee house.
Okay.
And we had come... anytime there was an ice storm, for whatever reason, this electric doesn't go off. And so it must have been everyone's electric went off, so we couldn't make coffee at home. And Michael found this place, and it was called Honduran Cafe. Great little shop. And but she disappeared. She took off pretty well before the pandemic, actually.
Okay.
And so the store sat empty through the beginnings of the pandemic, and when we decided it's time to go, then we were like, yeah, this is the place.
Wow.
So it's very central to the area, you know, really right in the heart of Casa Linda,
right,
in East Dallas. And man, the neighbors have been so loyal, faithful. Yeah, just great love for the baristas and their stories and celebrating them, and it's been amazing.
And this is a 501c3, right?
Yes.
3C? Yes. Okay. So how do the women find you, or you find them? Is this a thumbtack on a bulletin board?
No, not at all.
happens?
At the beginning, because of my networking, I had made connections with a place called Exodus Ministries, and they take women right out of prison, give them an apartment for 1 year, reunite them with their children. And the evenings, they do all kinds of classes. They send them out into Dallas to find work. So they were all working at Jimmy John's or just fast food mostly. And so when I connected with the director, we thought this is a good fit. So all of my first baristas came straight from Exodus. Since then, I've met several partners, and I've hired from Restored Hope, takes in women who have been sex trafficked or just wanting to leave the sex industry.
Right.
Of course, Nexus and Magdalene's House and some of the drug addiction programs. And then a place in Oak Cliff called In My Shoes takes in pregnant homeless women. So we have multiple partners now, more applications than positions.
Wow.
And so in the fall, I started an orientation class where anyone who fills out an application can come in for 2.5 hours every Monday, and we sit together. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We make candles and soap to pay for ourselves, to pay for the 2.5 hours. And it's fun. The bath bars are coffee scrub bars, so we put our grounds in them, so like exfoliating. Yeah. And they all smell like whatever, lavender or mocha latte or something fun. So, in fact, we met just a couple hours ago, because it is Monday as we sit here. And sometimes then an opening comes, and they're fully trained, and they get what our culture is here, and so it's just it's much nicer transition. And sometimes during the course of that, they find another job, but at least we've been able to sit with them, help them with resources, support them. And so that's been a really great addition to our process here.
Now you say they're fully trained. Are you training them or are they coming trained?
No. So I start meeting with them on Mondays, and we start processing them as an employee.
Oh, I see.
But just for Mondays,
Okay.
right? But then they start coming for 3 hours on Saturdays, and they start learning and helping out
Okay.
with the coffee. Once they've had 6 training sessions, they're eligible to be hired if an opening comes available.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay. So they're ready when
they're
when
ready.
The opening
Yeah, and so
occurs.
far, just since the fall, we've hired 3 new baristas that way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and today I sat with 3 who are in process right now.
They're going to be new.
So yeah. So, but I give them resources. We talk every week about success factors. We talk about the traumatized brain and how to start learning about it, and so just resources and such, and just conversation.
Yeah.
A little bit of love.
Yes. And community.
Yeah.
It really does give them a real community, doesn't it?
It really does. You know, when you've been in addiction and in prison, you learn each man for himself. You learn to not trust anyone but yourself, and it's totally the opposite of community, really. And so they come, they unlearn so much of what they learned in prison or just on the streets in addiction. Like I have one barista who was so in addiction, lost her kids, lived in her car for 3 years, trying to reconnect with her kids, get her feet under her, but just constantly spiraling in that addiction. And she finally went into a recovery program and then was accepted into Exodus Ministry, where I hired her. She's been with me for over 3 years. She runs the other store, and we're helping her start her own grooming business.
Oh, my goodness.
So she does grooming 1 day a week. We got a little grant to help her buy all the equipment, and so she's off and running. And so that's a typical story with a barista that just needs someone to believe in them, just be willing to journey through some of that woundedness, and just learn some job skills beyond fast food, honestly.
Yeah.
So
You must have had a number of women, though, come through and exit the program. Is that
yes.
right?
I like them to stay at least 2 years with me, because it really does take a long time to get out of survival mode into more of a thrive mode.
Yeah.
Kind of get your head above the water. But about 2 years, they start figuring out if they're going to graduate outward or inward. So 3 have graduated inward and sit with me on the leadership team and help run the stores.
Okay.
And many have graduated outward. 1 is actually working in the offices of Restored Hope and helping other women. 1 is working as a social worker at Austin Street Place and helping other people. She started on her associate's degree with me. We just had a big party here because she finished her bachelor's degree. She's already been accepted at UNT for her master's degree. So yeah, sometimes they stay for a lot longer and support what we're doing. And sometimes they go out. And even then, they both Natasha, who's working at Restored Hope, was here for her coffee this morning and just to say hi and get some love.
Yeah.
And we were able to help Angela to secure an apartment, because still with a record, it's very difficult.
Sure.
And new apartments were built on this street. I was blessed to have a conversation with the builder, the owner of the Hayden, and he made a way that somebody with a felon that has, working on a master's degree, has been...
He can see the process.
Could have actually an apartment. Even when they leave, we stay with them forever. We're a sisterhood, and that's a forever thing.
Well, I was going to say, you must have, just success story after success story after success story. Is there one, though, that really stands out, that they came from such a situation that now they're doing so incredible?
I don't know if one stands out in particular, because I'll be honest with you, all their stories are very much alike, no matter where I hire them from. It almost is always trauma, which leads to numbing yourself, which often leads to then not only using but selling to support your habit, which leads to prison. And somewhere in there, you compromise yourself in ways that you never maybe would have imagined, right? So a lot of the stories can be very similar, I'm proud of all of them, and I love to tell her stories just the same as I love to brag on my own kids, because it's just amazing the courage that it takes to overcome, because everything is against you. When you come out of prison, especially with a felony, everything is against you. And it takes so much courage. And, you know, for example, at Exodus, when I hire someone, they are to get here and work their shift, getting on a bus with a little one, going to the daycare, getting on another bus, coming up here, working their shift, and doing everything in reverse. It's almost an hour and a half each way. Wow. It takes a lot of grit. I mean, and then they get back to Exodus. They have a full evening of classes, because they're in class all night. Then they get their kids to bed and do it over. And it's a lot. It is a lot.
Such determination, though.
It takes so much determination. Even right now, Jessica, my barista Jessica, who's running the other store and starting a little grooming business, she, in order to have affordable, safe housing, is at a place called, because nobody can really go from the programs they're in, free, safe housing, out into Dallas. It's so impossible. And so we look for second, kind of another transitional home, second level transitional homes. She's in one that's on Buckner, called Buckner Place. But in order to be in that, which is about, I want to say $350 a month for her apartment, she has to be working, she has to be a single mom, and she has to go to school full time. Wow. Can you imagine?
No.
It's a lot. It
No,
is so much. Every day. It's exhausting, and she is tired. And she is almost done with her associate's degree and trying to figure out if she wants to keep doing that or if she wants to try to get another type of housing where she can slow her schooling down, you know, while her kids are growing up. So Hannah has been with me the longest. She's the top dog. She runs this store. I love to brag on her. She really will tell you her parents are still married. So it wasn't that she came from a broken family. She became experimental in high school. Her growing up world was, there was just a lot of pot, and it was the country, not a lot to do, and curiosity led from one thing to the next. Next thing you know, it's out of control. You know, something you think you can control, and it's just you're having fun, completely out of control. And at that point, you know, a lot of stuff happened in that time, but she lost both of her boys, went into prison. I don't know how many years she was sentenced, but she ended up doing 2.5 years. And as she would describe it, year one goes by and you miss birthdays and holidays. And you're like, this is bad. And then the next year goes by and you miss another birthday for each boy. And in her mind, she's like, oh, there must be something different. I don't know what it is, because she had not seen something different. And then someone lays a pamphlet on her bed that says Exodus Ministries. And she got one of her boys back, went into Exodus Ministries. That's where I hired her. I interviewed 2 girls that day and was only going to hire one of them. And she pretty much told me it was going to be her. She started bossing me around from the, I call her my boss. She is, I trust her off the charts. I mean, there's not a part of me that worries. Like, she's just so absolutely trustworthy. She started, I could see some leadership, even though she was kind of a clown, joyful, but silly. And at the beginning, I wasn't sure she was gritty, like was going to do it. We had some kind of event here. And there was a reporter, and the reporter said, Hannah, what happened to you? Did you fall in with the wrong crowd? And she said, oh no, ma'am, I was the wrong crowd. I said, she's going to make it. She's not blaming.
She was the leader of the wrong crowd.
She's taking ownership. Yeah, we talk a lot about taking a mentality of victim and changing it to victory. You may have been victimized. You cannot have that as your identity, or if you want to move to victory. And so a lot of ownership, I could see that. I could see other people following her. I said, Hannah, you're a leader. She said, oh, no, ma'am, I'm not. I said, well, people are following you. So, you know, she promoted. She would take on responsibilities, and she got a car. We do a car matching at a certain point. If they save $2,500, usually do an event or something and raise $2,500. And she's still driving that Toyota that we got. It's probably been 4 years she's been driving it.
That's great.
And she got her second son back. Has got her own place, runs this store, and is just crushing life. So,
Wow.
yeah, and that's just, someone to believe in you,
Yes.
Come into the sisterhood, we believe in each other, we pray for each other, we support each other. In a world where women can be competitive and catty, we work really hard to be the opposite and to be a safe place for each other, because
just
that's
love on each other.
that's where you can heal in a place that's safe.
Ever have a situation where it's somebody that doesn't work out, that you can tell they need a little more of something else? This isn't maybe where you need to be.
Definitely, yeah, we have. That's a real heartbreak.
Yeah.
Many people know the heartache where you want more for someone than they want for themselves. Yeah, and usually, I talk about the 3 success factors. Usually it's a lack of humility, it's that pride, and it's out of woundedness and self-protection, but yet it still can take you down. The next thing would be a lack of accountability. When you move from prison, total accountability, into a program, lesser accountability, and then out into the world, you feel like you want no one to you just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to tell me what to do.
Yep.
That's not a healthy scenario, to get that isolated, and often they get very isolated, and we can all be saying to them, are you going to AA? Are you meeting? Are people's eyes on you that can say you're a little off? And they're like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And sometimes they just don't want to hear it, and they just want their own way and want to be left alone. And sadly, I've watched that scenario that they're not using when they want to be left alone, but soon after they leave us in that isolation with no one there, then they start using. Because it's easy in Dallas, unfortunately, probably just about anywhere, but especially trying to find affordable living. If you move into, say, HUD housing or whatever, they're very drug infested. There's always someone going to walk by you and hold a handful of pills in front of you.
Wow.
And so it has happened. It's heartbreaking, but also it's happened and they've come back to us.
Oh, that's
And so we've rehired people.
Really?
Yeah, so that's always great. And we always keep an open, an open door. Like, we're here for you. Of course, this is what's required. You still have to be in a place of accountability, either a program or working your recovery in some way. But we're your sisters. We love you, and it's still a safe place for you. So yeah, that's happened. That's happened.
What do you look for then when you're hiring? Do you see something in someone that you think, okay, you're special and you just need a hand up?
No, because everyone that fills out an application is welcome to start the process.
Okay.
I guess I would say if we are looking for something, it's that they are in current accountability and support. Because it's much easier to help somebody if they're sleeping in the same bed every night, if they have something outside of this place that looks like stability and support. If we're their only stability and support, it's not a good setup. So I love hiring. It's not that I've only hired out of programs, but the best success guarantee is to be in a very safe, supportive environment at the beginning, and to very, very, very slowly move toward independence, slower than you really want to. Yeah, actually.
Well, it sounds like you get very close to some of these women. I mean,
all
is
of
there a
them.
constant turnover? Is there?
No, less than you would think, and I would guess less than most restaurants in Dallas, because just the world of customer service. I mean, it's a very high drama, high turnover. And I feel that because it's such a win-win scenario, then I feel like we have a very loyal group of women.
Right. But are most of them moving from barista into something else? I mean, for their future, for their doing something Like you said, the
Yeah, it's
woman
always
getting
different,
a
and we
master's degree,
try
et
to allow
cetera.
it to be as organic as they need it
Okay.
to be with some guidance. Let's take a class. Let's take a basic computer
Yeah.
class just
Yeah.
to get you some confidence or whatever. It's hard to know what they want.
So
what
this
you wanna
isn't
do.
meant just for transition, is I guess my question. It
No.
can be a transition, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We try to let it be case by case with some structure, but mostly organic. Like, what do you need? Where do you see yourself? When they come, each one when they come is very much in survival mode. I mean, all they're really looking for in a lot of ways is a paycheck. And then what they find is a sisterhood and a path, And slowly, even if they don't start out knowing, it takes a lot of us a long time to know what we want to be when we grow up, right?
Yes.
And so much less if you've come out of such extreme trauma. Often, though, they want to help someone else. And so they'll go into something. So if we can help them find their next step, we love to, support that. I tell all of them, please stay with me forever. And in some senses they do, but they don't always
Yeah.
barista forever.
Yeah. But at least dropping in and
yeah.
checking on you all the time.
Yeah.
Because there must be such a bond that ends up forming.
I think so when you journey together. Yeah, I mean, absolutely on both sides. I mean, these women are just some of the greatest women I've ever known. I consider them my daughters, my adopted daughters. And we go through a lot together, ups and downs, and, the regaining of custody of children and so many things. I mean, death of parents, or just, we go through a lot of stuff together. Just life. I would say like the world, but almost like an intensified version of the world because of the trauma.
Yeah. Important for them too, if they know a little bit about your background, because then that helps. They know you understand.
I think so. I mean, I was a single mom. I've experienced some mental health. I haven't been in prison or addicted to drugs.
Right.
But I think that is what we journey together is our mental health a lot, largely our mental health.
Right. You know what
And
trauma
single
feels like.
parenting,
Yeah.
abuse, trauma, and so that's kind of where we meet. We had a retreat. I guess it was just last month. It's so nice when we can get away together, but not here,
Right.
not at the coffee house, because we
Right.
do meetings, team meetings here. But we were able to do an overnight, and it's fun to just laugh and play. And we did s'mores, and we had some worship, a couple that come and do some worship music. It was wonderful. And then the next morning, we were kind of just talking, and I was reading them something out of a book. And the book was about Christians being persecuted in China, I think. And one of the pastors had been in prison for 17 years just for being a pastor. And I looked out, I think there were 12 of us, and I said, what is the longest you've spent in prison? And one of the older ladies, she's 67, she said, 5 years consecutive. But I've been in prison a total of 30 years.
Wow.
And I said, wow, what is the longest you've been out of prison? She said, this time.
Wow.
But she's been with me 1 year, and she was probably out 6 months before. And it just, man, it hit me hard. Yeah. Just gratitude that we could journey with her. I mean, can you imagine spending 30 years of your life in prison and trying to learn a whole different way?
Yeah. How not to be there.
Yeah.
And how to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have some hope.
Yes.
And some direction.
And really just try to trust and be open. When everything in you says self-protect, you can't trust anyone.
Of course.
And if we're honest, and she would tell you this too, it's been a hard year. Like many times we didn't think we were going to make it through this year. And she has made it. And she just keeps making it. I had to have a hard conversation with her and actually give her a 2-week suspension.
Wow.
And I thought that would be it. I thought she would say,
I'm done.
and she didn't. She stayed, and she's gotten stronger.
Wow.
And she's taking classes, college classes.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just, yeah, I'm so grateful to get a front row seat to just watch people's lives just transform.
Because she's getting something here she's never gotten before from anywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
When I was preparing for this, I was watching some of the podcasts, and some of these women are so inspiring.
Yes.
Their stories,
Brilliant,
their backgrounds.
inspiring.
They talk a lot about God. Is that something you encourage, expect, focus on? How does that come about?
Yeah. It's one of our 4 pillars.
Okay.
So 4 pillars: work, education, community, and faith. It is, God is the foundation of everything we do here. In no way do we force a specific religion on anyone. It is just the great love that God gives to us, that we give to each other and to our customers. During the course of a day, you'll see 2 or 3 baristas circled up praying. It's just a norm around here. So it's nothing that's forced. It's something that just lifts us up and allows us to encourage each other, love big. Love covers a multitude of sin, and it's probably the primary thing that creates the safety around here.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So you have a big gala coming up.
Yes.
What is that about?
It's the most fun, and this will only be our second one.
Okay.
It's the most fun thing we do to really share stories and celebrate the baristas. So you'll hear more about their stories. And
So everybody dress up and you have
yes,
music? And
the first one we had was called, it was Beauty to Ashes, but it was a flower child theme. So everyone came dressed like a hippie. It was the most fun. It was like a personal dream come true for me to be in a room with almost 300 hippies. And so
good.
super fun, and yeah, we just celebrated the girls big because, and the great courage that they have and the inspiration that they are. It's obviously a fundraiser, so the goal was to raise money. And so this next one's called Silver and Sapphire. It's going to be at a really fun, brand new venue on Market Street called Crimson Park.
Okay.
It's another fundraiser. So we do all kinds of stuff. Of course, you'll get an amazing 4-course meal, the music, there's music surprises. I like surprises. So for example, the first gala, when you showed up, and also I do pottery, it's my therapy.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I made vases, and my other pottery friends made vases. So you got to pick out a handmade vase. And then as you went through, each of the baristas had a flower that represented them. And they added their flower to your vase. So you got to leave with this cute, really precious little handmade vase full of a bouquet of flowers that represented the baristas.
Right.
So this year will be full of other surprises. I'm not going to give them away. I like people to come feeling like themselves. So if it's fun to dress up, dress up. If it's not, you are welcome to wear a silver sequin sweat outfit or just whatever it would be, you know, that makes you have a good evening.
Right.
But lots of surprises and silent auctions and raffles and all the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned the fact that it is a fundraiser. Are there any misconceptions people have when you start talking about we're trying to, you know, get money for this and that? Any misconceptions people have about the program?
Well, I think the reality is that people who start nonprofits, there have been people that end up not fulfilling the mission that they started out to.
Right.
Also, people, board members and such, they like to pay themselves. They should be paid, right?
Of course.
But it can be a little extravagant. So I'm sure there is some valid reasons to question and doubt.
Yeah.
I don't take a salary. Number one, we're still trying to get the stores to break even.
Right.
And so it just doesn't really even make sense. And because I'm able to, because my husband supports us. Yeah. I don't criticize anyone who takes, you know, it's valid. Your work is valid.
Right.
But around here, I can keep my motives. It helps me keep my motives pure because I'm not making any money. And it's a passion of my heart. And so everything we do, you know, goes to payroll, goes right to the girls, whether it's car matching. This gala will specifically be focused on a couple things. Number one, Both espresso machines are past their lifetime,
no,
and so
yeah.
espresso machines are crazy expensive. So we'll replace both of the espresso machines.
Okay.
But the greatest thing is housing. We really have wanted to have our own housing since we started.
Really? Yeah.
If we had our own housing, it would give the ladies extended security in that foundation.
Yes.
They could come out of their program, come into our housing, and continue
Right.
until they're really ready to be out in Dallas. It'll be a whole game changer. And we've come really close. We announced it last year at the gala, and we've come really close to a couple opportunities, and then just like that, they disappeared. And so we're okay with that because we went the right solution. But I know it's coming soon, and so a lot of it will be toward our housing solution.
Okay.
So
Okay.
total game changer for us,
Yeah.
because the ladies who we've lost, it was because of housing. It was because they ended up going, for example, you go into a housing that's affordable.
Sure.
It's not safe.
No.
And it's the temptations that you escaped are all around you. Or you go into a place that you can't afford, and then pretty soon you're sinking, and you know how to make money,
Making
not
bad
legally.
choices.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's dangers in every direction. But if we
Sure.
had our own housing, it would increase the sisterhood. It would kind of expand the sisterhood.
Yeah.
It would give them just a longer period of time to get their feet under them, until they're truly ready to move out into Dallas, whatever that looks like. So housing's huge
Yes.
for us.
I noticed in your podcast interviews, you asked the women what message they would send to an audience if they had a message. What message do you want to send?
A message of hope. There's a path. There is a path. If you're someone in darkness, no matter what that looks like, there's someone who can believe in you. There's a path, and there's hope. Our hope, my hope, is in Jesus. And there are people and resources here in Dallas. I mean, there's even apps in Dallas that tell you where your next meal is. There are people and resources here for you.
Yeah.
And so reach out. If we can't personally help you, we're going to just help you find that resource that you need. But there's hope. Don't be hopeless.
Yeah.
Don't be hopeless. Yeah.
Natalie, thanks for joining us today and letting us turn the tables on you for a change.
Thank you. You're an amazing interviewer. I learned some things I'm going to use in next season.
Good deal. Thanks so very much. And thank you for joining us today on Trauma into Triumph.